Now joining us is Buddy Grizzard of B-Ball Breakdown, formerly of ESPN.com, and True Hoop Atlanta Hawks. Yes, I got that right. But yeah, Buddy, thanks for joining us. This is your second or third time being on. I always love talking to you because you definitely are informed when it comes to basketball. So I want to get down to the nitty gritty of it because obviously we're a South Florida-based show, so we talk about the Miami Heat a lot, and I have made a statement of if the Miami Heat were healthy, even without Bosh, because they've been better without Bosh, even if they were healthy, I could see them beating the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, obviously, I can't see that happening because it doesn't seem – I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if they can win 2 in a row, so I want to ask you, Buddy, can the Miami Heat win 2 in a row, or is this series done?
Absolutely, they can win 2 in a row. You guys are hit with some injuries right now, but you got to keep in mind that Jonas Valanciunas is out for the series, and he was plus 14 per 100 possessions in the series. And then, Damari Carroll, his MRI was negative on his wrist, but he's listed as questionable for Game 6. So they might have 2 of their, top 3 net rating guys out of guys that have played at least 100 minutes in the series. The Raptors are facing some injury issues as well. Now, as far as can the Heat beat the Cavaliers in the Eastern Conference Finals, that's going to be tough with the Cavs on 9 days of rest and having their whole roster available, obviously.
Yeah, I'm probably going to regret that pick, but it happens. But Buddy, the San Antonio series with Oklahoma City, I asked the question yesterday to multiple people: should I be shocked that the Spurs are down 3-2? What was weird, though, is I had a lot of people telling me, yes, I should be shocked, and then I had a lot of people telling me, no, you shouldn't be shocked. So, Buddy, which way am I supposed to feel?
Well, there's 3 teams that could come out of the West. Obviously Golden State, San Antonio, they had historically great regular seasons. But in my mind, pretty much all season I've considered the Thunder to be in a group of 3 with those 2 teams. I don't think that they're that far behind San Antonio, to be honest with you. Now, obviously, the Spurs have gotten, the business end from the referees in this series. There have been a couple of very questionable late calls that have cost the Spurs a couple of games. But that's, like I said, not to take anything away from Oklahoma City, who I consider to be in the same class as the Spurs and the Golden State Warriors.
When you say in the same class, and this is a Rashard, ESPN radio employee, I was going to say, when you say in the same class, because me personally, like I was telling Drew yesterday, I think that when you have 2 elite superstars such as the Oklahoma City Thunder, you are in that elite class. Now, would you say that Cleveland and Miami are in that elite class, or just Cleveland out of the Eastern Conference?
I put Cleveland in that group. I would really like Miami if they had all of their pieces, and if Cleveland hadn't had 9 days rest, which sometimes that can make a team rusty in Game 1, but on average, I think 9 days off helps a team win a playoff series. So Miami, if they had all their pieces, yes. Cleveland, after what they just did to my Hawks, absolutely, I consider them to be in that class. But as far as OKC, that they could very well get past the Spurs, and I don't even know if I like Golden State in the finals, in the Western Conference Finals, if they end up playing either San Antonio or OKC. If not for the overtime loss or the overtime win that they had against the Blazers, that series would still be going. So, I don't think that Golden State, by winning their series 4-1, has outclassed the rest of the Western Conference. They better be worried about whoever comes out of that other series, because it's going to be a bloodbath on the Western Conference Finals. I guarantee it.
Oh, okay.
And Andrew, yeah, go ahead, man.
Well, Rashad, do you have a second question, or?
No. I didn't know that he had just stopped. I was just so since you think that Golden State isn't going to come out, because I don't think that they are better than San Antonio or Oklahoma City either. But sometimes, for some reason, it just seems like the moment can be too big for Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook. But they avoided that last game and got up 3-2. What do you think moving forward so that they can continue to play at this high level? What do you think will be the two biggest factors in them being able to beat the Warriors and represent the Western Conference in the finals?
Well, I think Enes Kanter kind of got the shaft on the six-man award this year because Jamal Crawford, love him, but his player efficiency rating this season was below league average, which 15 is a league average PER. Enes Kanter was like 21, 22, something like that player efficiency rating. So, yeah, I mean, he rates in every season that ESPN has published the defensive real plus minus stat. Enes Kanter has been the worst defensive center in the NBA every year that the stat has been published. So Enes Kanter is just a complete dumpster fire as a defender, but he does so much on the offensive end that he can really help a team, especially a team that's as good defensively as OKC is, that can kind of cover for his lack. And and then they've got Adams who's a good defensive center, so they can platoon those guys when they need to. So I think the key for OKC is just how the complementary pieces play. Their big two are either going to come through and be efficient, or Westbrook's going to be Westbrook and he's going to take a bunch of shots and hit some of them and not be efficient, and that's not going to help them. If Westbrook involves all the pieces that they have, because they've assembled a really nice roster. It's not just a two-man team. They've got guys that they can pass the ball to that can score. So, if those guys take it all upon themselves, it might not work out for them. I think if they move the ball a little bit, that'll probably help them. And like I say, if OKC gets past the Spurs, I really don't know which team I favor between OKC and Golden State Warriors if that's your Western Conference Finals.
Oh, okay.
Does the Eastern Conference have a chance to even win the finals, no matter who the Western Conference puts in there to represent?
Well, there's the NBA is in this new era, right, where they've finally figured out how important the three-point shot is. A three-pointer is worth 50% more than a two-pointer. The Cavaliers just in back-to-back games against the Hawks set records for made three-pointers in a playoff game. So the Cavaliers organization had the foresight to realize that was the way that the league was going, and they go out and get a guy Channing Frye from the Orlando Magic, and they just gave him away for a second-round pick. I don't know why Orlando is so eager to see the Cavaliers win a championship, but yeah, when it gets down to the NBA Finals, the Cavaliers are ready for whoever comes out of the West. Now, I don't know, depending on who that team is, I really don't know who I would favor, but yeah, just after watching the Cavaliers just completely demolish the Hawks in 4 games, and I was at game 3 and 4, at Phillips Arena, just after watching them, they're in really, really good form, and they just have so much shooting on the floor at all time. And Kevin Love has finally figured out his role on this team. The Cavaliers are playing so well that I absolutely think that it'll be a competitive NBA Finals, whoever they have to play against.
I just kind of thought that maybe the Cavs completely outmatched the Hawks talent-wise, and I don't think that that's the same thing with the Cavs and the Spurs, or the Cavs and Warriors, or the Cavs and Thunder, either way.
No, the Cavaliers don't outclass any of those top 3 teams that I mentioned from the Western Conference. The 3 teams, obviously, that are still alive in the playoffs in the West. They don't outclass any of those teams, but I believe that they match up against all 3 of those teams.
Buddy,
So
let's
who
just go
would
ahead
you
and
favor if there was a?
Hey,
Sorry.
hey, ask for 3 questions over there. It's my turn. It is my turn. But buddy, I want to ask you. Let's just go ahead and be honest here. Let's just give the next 7 championships to Golden State. Let's just do it.
Give the next what championships?
The next 7 championships to the Golden State Warriors. Let's do it, buddy. Let's do it, buddy.
No.
Oh, let's
No
do
way.
it. 7 championships. Let's do it. Who's beating them?
Nah, man. San Antonio, OKC, either one of those teams.
San Antonio can be OKC, and what makes you think that OKC is going to beat Golden State, especially when Kevin Durant's probably going to Golden State next season?
Okay, now if that happens, yeah, you can pretty much wrap it up for a long time. But as far as like 7 in a row, they've got to get this one. And I'll go ahead and say it. Whoever wins the San Antonio OKC series is coming out of the West. They're beating Golden State. Either one of those teams.
Why doesn't Cleveland have a chance? And to follow up that question right there, with LeBron James, he has to know that the opportunity is closer for him to bring a championship to hashtag the land. It's closing because they're not beating Golden State, they're not beating San Antonio, they're not beating these teams. So what does LeBron James do in the future? Does he just stay in Cleveland and hope that he can bring a championship? Or what does he do? Because he has to know, especially since we know he's not going to win a championship in Cleveland anytime soon.
See, and I disagree. I mean, I my opinion is that the Cavaliers will be competitive if they reach the NBA Finals against any of those top 3 teams in the West. They've got the talent and they're in the right form to compete. But that being said, if they don't win the championship this year, LeBron may end up back in Miami. I think he's gone. Yeah. I think he's gone if they don't win the championship this year, and he'll be out looking for whatever team he can go to that he can get more rings with, because that's what he cares about. He wants to be in that conversation with the all-time greats like Jordan and Kobe and Tim Duncan that have all these rings.
And last question, we'll go ahead and get you out here. Now I'm curious to see what you have to say to this after that answer. The hashtag he gone movement, is that real? LeBron's coming back to Miami. Hashtag he gone?
Yeah, if they don't win the championship this year, he gone. And I'll tell you one other thing, Andrew. I'm really, really pulling for Miami to pull these last 2 games out because if the Eastern Conference Finals is Miami Cleveland, then Casey Sager and myself will be flying down there to catch you guys for games 3 and 4. Have no desire to visit Cleveland. Have no desire to visit Toronto. I'm sure it's a wonderful city, but I can't wait to get back down to Miami again. So you guys need to pull this out, and then we can hang out, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think I got Casey Sager actually set up for an interview tomorrow, or it might have been. I can't remember if it was tomorrow or next week. I get all my schedules mixed up. But yeah, absolutely.
She's incredible. She's so knowledgeable.
Oh, absolutely.
Love Casey.
We had her on here before a couple of months ago, and she was absolutely great. So I have to agree with you there. But Buddy Grizzard of B-Ball Breakdown, formerly of ESPN, we do appreciate you joining the show, sir.
All right. Thanks a lot, gentlemen.